All right, so let's just settle now into a nice, comfortable seated position. As usual, I blabbered on, so I'm running late. So feet, if you are sitting at your desk in front of your computer and your feet are down, have them in a parallel position, feet flat on the floor. Just try and get a sense of the feel of your feet in the floor. You know, the soles of the feet, the side of the foot, the big toe mound, the little toe mound, and all of your toe pads. And your shoulders are aligned with the hips, and then as best you can, your ears aligned with your shoulders. So a little bit of length in the back of the neck here. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light that stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Let's put some space in between your vertebrae. And then you can bring your attention to the crown of the head and just relax your scalp. Maybe you can feel some sensation there. And then allow a little bit of softening in your face, just releasing, relaxing the face, the ears, the inner ear, and the jaw, the back of the tongue. Allow your shoulders to relax, and the chest and the throat, the belly, and all of your limbs. And be aware of the breath sensations as you inhale and exhale. And just notice what your mind is doing with the sound in your environment. So try not to have the mind run off and investigate. Just allow the sounds to be there. And then be aware of what's going on in your mind this evening. What thoughts are arising? Try and put some space in between those thoughts. And just observe your mind with this attitude of curiosity. Objectivity. And so you're just observing. No judgment, no criticism, no expectation. Just observation. Take a step back. Give yourself a break from your own mind for a moment. I know it's easier said than done. And then think of all the people of our life, the ones we love, our near and dear ones, our strangers. And then there's those people in our life who we don't really like so much, or we don't trust. We have aversion for them. And remembering that these relationships are interchangeable. However we think about anybody at one particular time, they're all equal. They're like you and me. They have this wish to be happy, this wish to be free from suffering, and having this extraordinary capacity for this Buddha mind. So I would think about doing this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And I know we like to criticize all our politicians and all the people who are running for office and all the people who are helping them. But honestly, is that a job you'd really want? I just think anyone who wants to do that is very brave. It's like we have all these opinions about the people that are running the Dharma centers. But you try to do that job. It's not easy. So just think about all of the people as they're gearing up for this election cycle, or this, what's left of it. And then all the other people, different wars going on here and there, different weather problems, different, all people's individual sufferings. So we start by thinking there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we're working with our mind here. We create negativity with our mind. So equally, we can change it, create positivity instead. And so this practice is in the context of the 4 opponent powers. The first of these is the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And then also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to this Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify ourselves. And we're not needing necessarily the Buddha to forgive us. That's not what we're looking to Vajrasattva for. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So we see it that way. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher, if you have one, manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart. The left hand is underneath the right. The left is holding a bell, and this represents wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, and this represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two, enlightenment. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those people who've harmed you and just have compassion for them, a wish for them to be free from suffering, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them sometime in the future. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine and where we do the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and it disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. And just think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is this purification of our speech. And imagine Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space. Not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and all the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you, all our inappropriate speech. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you and then just overflowing, quite forcefully overflowing. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And next is this purification of our mind. And now imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light this time from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So just as if you walk into a room that's dark and you flick on the switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So imagine the same thing here. The light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your depression and anxiety and worries and bitterness and grudges and jealousy and disappointments and angst, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the imprints of the purification of even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. So this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan, sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe, Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan, sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe, Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to this power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And we just have to decide, I don't want to harm with my body, my speech, and my mind. And then you make a decision and then you make a plan. So what's my plan? So think about, first of all, rejoicing in your efforts coming along here tonight. Some of you, it's very late. For Shrey, it's very early in Israel. So just rejoice in that effort. Very early, very late. And everybody else in between. And then think of something you'd like to work on. Maybe you already are aware of some kind of a habit, whether it's, rumination, or whether it's obsessing about something, or whether it's kind of this anger that keeps kind of arising all the time. So the first step is to develop an awareness around what's there. And then just choose something you'd like to work with. Keep it simple. Maybe just set your watch, your phone, the timer on the phone, and remind yourself to do it like once a day for a minute or something. Just keep it easy. And then imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And you think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, our teacher, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, used to recommend to meditate a little bit on emptiness. So he would say, in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, even if it's just that word, place your mind there for a little while. We can think then of all phenomena as being empty. They don't exist from their own side. They're just dependent on everything. This depends on that. They don't exist from their own side. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created tonight ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So now we have our little verses chanting the names of Manjushri as recommended by His Holiness the Dalai Lama for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Residing in the mind of every being, having become their mind's equality and satisfying the mind of every being, he is for every being great inner joy. Confusion-free regarding points of doctrine, completely free from error in all its forms, his thinking free from doubt, his object threefold, his object all three properties by nature. Throughout 3 times the content of 5 skandhas, discerning clearly each and every moment, awakening in but a single moment, his basic nature equal to all Buddhas. Everybody, and just have in your heart a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for Lama Zopa Rinpoche to return quickly, and then for all those of you who have precious teachers of your own, may they live long, happy, healthy lives. All right, everyone, lots of love. Thank you for joining us, Laurent. And tomorrow morning, we're doing a early morning half-hour meditation